change up the strategy that they brought in against SSG with those bans of Grim and FURIA, the Azami, to follow suit, most banned defensive operator at the tournament. So we head to Oregon. BDS on the defense first. FURIA will be attacking. This will be BDS's map pick. They would want to get off to a good start, especially coupled with the fact they are on defense here for Oregon. Could this well be the last time we see this ever lovable map for, well, a good while?
Yeah, and I suppose just rounding out the ban discussion, as highlighted, Valkyrie has been quite a common staple defensive ban throughout this event. Will sneak through. You combine that with the IQ ban, and attacking with that information on the board being very difficult to locate and clear is certainly something we'll be keeping an eye on throughout this match.
Yeah, both teams, of course, dropped a map yesterday in their quarter-finals. For FURIA, it got even dicier, an 8-7 win on the third map of Chalet against SSG, so a little bit fortunate to even be here. In some ways, the way in which these two teams won their respective games yesterday a little bit different. For BDS, really just stormed home, the best version we've seen of them for quite some time. For FURIA, it almost felt like just scraping over the line against the North Americans, so we will see which team can start better today. BDS on the defense first up. No surprise we go to basement to begin here for Oregon. Boy, I'm going to miss this map. I love Oregon. I love the way that it plays, the way it flows, but admittedly, it hasn't changed much in a while.
It's called Oregon for a reason.
It is called Oregon for a reason. I do understand.
I just hope Cafe gets removed next. I'll say that every time.
Put the target on Cafe next, please.
Yeah. Well, the Monty brought out from Nade round one, expecting that to be highly prevalent here on Oregon. Anytime it sneaks through that ban phase post-rework. Great operator and gaining space, but also now with the ability to melee operators down quite easily and hunt them down really now. Also fragging capable even more so than before. And a couple of different rounds where that Monty will be effective. Yeah,
Valkyrie doesn't get banned out, so immediately utilized, and it's going to be, I think, a very prominent defensive operator in this series. And the reason why I bring it up as well is Users actually going into the semi-finals. He was rated the #1 player at the tournament, has been playing like it, so someone to kind of keep an eye on. Bride as well, actually, yesterday I thought was really, really good, and back in the group stage too, one of the high-rated players. For FURIA, it's been JV92, it's been KZ, they've been the top players. It's been a rough tournament though for Felipox in the red. Negative differential. So we'll see, maybe this can be a kind of tournament where he can get going. Bit of first floor control for FURIA, but I think that's just all given up for free because BDS are essentially playing 5 basement. Over towards backstairs, freezes stairs as well for Solotov.
Yeah, I like that from FURIA, utilizing the Maverick. Flushes out Sharko on that stairs position. He's unable to contest that, play for drone utility. Liquefact still in big tower though. Rotate Attic. I presume his position is known. That's an educated guess on my part. Hopefully for the sake of FURIA, they are aware that there is a roamer offsite.
Developing information on the rappel for KZ. 60 seconds left, guys. It is a basement site. Got to get a wriggle on. Trying to still just really clear out top of big tower. This is really slow, and it has been spotted. It's Liquefact onto JV92. The roam has been successful for BDS. The solo roam from Liquefact finds a kill and suddenly throws a spanner into the works for FURIA's attack.
Don't often see mistakes like that from FURIA. And BDS punish it. Liquefact may find it difficult to rotate back towards site, so it's up to the rest of FURIA to force his hand. Looking to try and pinch and apply pressure around the objective. Easier said than done. They have execute utility though, and the Montang's still on the board.
The timing, Solotov watching the freezer push, and it was a push coming in from KZ, and eventually does lose his life to Solotov. Kills going the way for BDS. Only the shield up now. It's Nade who will drop in towards E-Box, and waiting behind him was Bride. Clean start from BDS. I mean, I thought that was just a tremendous solo roam that is rewarded courtesy of Liquefact. The rest essentially playing their role. Stay on site. You don't have to do too much. Let the solo roamer, who I don't actually think got discovered. They thought he was still at top of big tower.
Yeah, perhaps playing off dated information were FURIA through that mid to late round portion, looking to clear big tower. Unfortunately, they lose that initial pick, not knowing that he had rotated over towards Attic. Said that on the replay now, and then nobody in a position to cut him off as he tries to get back towards site. And in fact, Liquefact not really incentivized to rotate back towards the objective because those anchor positions were held down so well.
JB's like basically looking up, waiting for him to maybe drop down as he got droned out and pushed out, but he was already in towards Attic. 1-0 start for BDS. Disappointing start for FURIA. Yeah, rather slow in their approach, couldn't deal with the roam, and eventually the hit onto site was, yeah, completely unsuccessful. We head over towards Kids Doms. Interesting hold over towards Pit, mirror window, and looking in towards Trophy. So they can play in towards Attic. Means that for BDS could be a little bit more of a lockdown in towards Site. Although roaming at the moment, Liquefac on the Solus, in towards Dining. I wonder if he might play the roam game again here and try and get a bit of first floor control.
Yeah, early line off the rip here from Nade. Perhaps trying to find a pocket of space somewhere for an entry around the map. As mentioned, games will open, and so Herds needing to be mindful of that. Equally though, the defense of BDS not wanting to fall into that line of sight and give away anything for free. Solotov is holding the entry over towards Trophy with a deployable shield. Big tower presence again from BDS on
Beautiful
defense.
multi-layered defense right now from BDS with big tower, and you've got Liquefac actually in towards basement. So for Furia, it's also very difficult to hit that direct sight because Games Wall's opened up. So typically, if Games Wall is reinforced the way that it usually would be, you can kind of sneak in there and then eventually try and open it up, but yeah, it makes it very difficult to kind of push through quickly.
Yeah, and they're trying to gain information, but the mute is stalling that out as well. So Furia now need to find the tools to gather that information so they can make a decision. But KZ will fall into a frost map. Can recover himself, of course.
Not ideal though, in towards Armory, now very low on health. Flash, it does land on to Solotov. Might look to pick back on the Frost again though. Herds having to watch from multiple angles, expecting the attack here from BDS to come through, Games to come through. Trophy into bedroom though, Herds gets aggressive, and honestly, Furia needed that. Someone to just push through. Put the onus on themselves, and why not the Ash, who can then eventually deal with that mirror window as well in Pit. Really good little pressure right now from Furia building in this round. Users gets a big kill, but so does Philippox as well towards White Stairs, and suddenly this round is rather scrappy.
Yeah, not a whole lot of pressure over towards White Stairs and put Pre-Day on an island. That mirror window critical for BDS, but cleared, and so they will now be forced back. Man disadvantage, 60 seconds for Furia. They find themselves now in a much better position. We'll see though if they're able to convert. Users up close, anchor roll, 10 HP. Liquefac at a tradable position, and Shaiko back towards double window. That window not opened up. And so Shaiko will find himself in a really powerful position to anchor in the back of side as Liquefac pushes forward.
Gets him. Huge timing from Liquefac. Had he been even just a moment slower, that flash would have connected. He wouldn't have been able to swing onto Nade. 3 versus 3. Users and KZ both low on health. Still some time. Certainly time to stall out. Oh, good shot again from Liquefac. Controlling that position. And Shaiko as well to double down with him. And suddenly the round falls apart for Furia. Liquefac again. Talk about an opening start for him and for BDS in the opening 2 rounds.
Yeah, BDS found themselves in a position where somebody had to try and make a play with users low on HP. Liquefac, sure, probably could have traded it out, but trades at that point in time were never going to be enough. So he pushes forward, able to dodge the first flash, at least momentarily, to get that pick. Able to then steamroll that into more with Shaiko, as aforementioned. Back towards double window with that not opened up, and a lack of pressure really around the objective from Furia. They're able to combine and get to work nicely. I thought that this position here, over towards top white, Philippox unlocked that. That could have been to the demise of BDS. Ultimately, though, the push forward from Liquefac, that pick there, massive. And in the 3 versus 3, he held down Trophy really nicely. And Furia, in terms of their timing for any trade opportunities, well off the mark. Certainly not looking particularly sharp on attack to kick this match off.
Yeah, incredibly defended again for BDS. It's not just a case of 5 on site, the way that they had one over towards Big Tower, basement down below. You got the roam game, you got the vert game. Furia going rather direct. The hold in towards Trophy was really strong as well. In saying that, Herds actually got a really good pick in towards bedroom. Then you open up Pit by dealing with the mirror window. And as you said and pointed out, Philippox towards White Stairs. So Furia were kind of getting through that checklist, and that puzzle was slowly being solved. But they ran out of pieces to solve it, and it's 2-0 for BDS. We head over to the tertiary site kitchen, a meeting for BDS. Furia only managing 1 attacking round yesterday against SSG on Oregon. They had quite a few opportunities as well, so something to kind of keep in mind. I am expecting this to be defender-sided, but for Furia, these are the kind of rounds you do need to win.
I mean, Oregon heading into this tournament was always going to be an interesting discussion point. There may be some teams that have sort of left it on the back burner and didn't create anything new for this particular tournament. Maybe there's a world in which BDS have cooked some stuff up, putting all their stock into this event. With the prize money on the line, that certainly would make sense. And so if Furia are playing something dated, BDS BDS may well have a good read on that. And as you are highlighting, attacking prowess at this event hasn't been amazing. Limited sample size though, and still an opportunity for them here. Round 3 on the tertiary site to start gaining momentum. The Monty will reappear. Nade may well look to rotate over towards small tower here and execute a push in towards kitchen.
I'll give them a call.
Double globals as well available to FURIA with the Lion and the Dockerbee to try and gain info.
Nobody kill for Herds. Takes out Shaiko. Now much better on the roam clear here through Classroom now for JV92 as well. The Solotov get aggressive, holds the position. Through split in towards Garage, takes the fight but doesn't land the shots. Logic Bomb, second one to ring out, and KZ just decides to sneak through and in. Takes out Brede. One in towards site itself, and he's aware of that. The flashbang utility dump. Successful from Furia, finding these kills quite quickly. Solotov on a bit of an island and sends out the Nitrocell, and it lands perfectly and brings the round back into contention now for BDS. Suddenly, the Montang with a lot to do to push forward. Could pull out the pistol, but Herds and JB92, they get the kills that are required. And the round that is required for Furia.
Yeah, that's the kind of snappy attacks that Furia really thrive in. We cast our minds back to rounds 1 and 2 where they got stalled out, largely due to good offsite play from BDS. That time around, though, able to find relatively free entries. About as free as you're going to get in this kind of series. And Furia will, more often than not, convert those advantages. An early overpeak there from Shaiko, and KZ aware of the lurk main. As we roll through these replays, every single one of these fights, good, confident shots from Furia. Bit of a fight back from BDS. Ultimately, not quite enough, and it was users on an island in the 1 versus 3. And now, Jake, we can officially say we may have at least a map on our hands if Furia can remain competitive on the tertiary sides.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big round. They needed to get that one. We always kind of look at Oregon as that 2-4 split. Get the 2 tertiary sites. If you can steal anything on the primaries, I mean, that looks great on the record. I imagine BDS looking at their lineup again, they're going to play into a bit of a roam game maybe this time around. The Aloe, the Capcan, Legion, so lots of trap utility. Last time out, of course, on this very side, it was Liquefact over towards top big tower, and then eventually in towards Attic. Enough to essentially ruin the round for Furia. Right now, this little kitchen holdover with the EDDs placed by Liquefact might be a bit of stomping ground. We'll see if he does hold out in this vicinity. But it is Shaiko with an opening kill. Spawn peek onto JV92. Takes out the Maverick.
Yeah, I think it may have been from Garage.
You've only got 2 secondary hard breaches now on Nade.
Who has been able to quickly get into big tower here, so...
Can't die here, otherwise nothing will get opened up.
I don't think Shaiko has any idea.
Yeah, Shaiko's got no idea. There should be a kill potential. Oh, the EDDs though give away the position for Nade. Headshot angle, but Shaiko's just a bit better. Nade loses his life, and with the drop down into E-box back to site, advantage BDS. Logic Bomb not going to find a lot here from KZ, and I don't think the Jackal will do a whole lot from here either. Back to site is really the motto for BDS, but Solotov, he's actually still second floor. He's being hunted down. Still a lot of time in this particular round. Furia certainly can go hunting to find him, but as they do go hunting, he gets the kill, eventually traded, and it all ends up still the same. 1 player advantage for BDS.
Yeah, Furia looking to up the pacing again here in round number 4. But really off the back of BDS forcing their hand again. Another good roam off-site. Big entry from Shaiko, doubles down in meeting. We saw the effectiveness of those traps in this round as well, especially the Capcan. Philippox and Herds, 2 phenomenal players. Herds especially has the fragging power to maybe bring this round back. But they need to gather information to facilitate that. Drones up. Oh, there's 2 Inox scans.
Well, that helps out Philippox. Information towards blue. The drop down, though, the close push from Shaiko does get lit up, but he stays alive, and unfortunately for Herds, loses his partner in crime as Philippox cannot win that battle on the push through from blue bunker. 60 seconds left, 1 versus 3, with Shaiko very low on health. Herds with a lot to do here. He does have the diffuser. But really, for BDS now, it's a matter of just hold position, hold your spot, don't have to move, don't have to swing, don't give away any kind of information. Force him to clear out, force him to push into you and into sight.
Well, he clears the BPC, pushes forward red ping, but uses too good on swing up close on the chassis. And another primary site goes the way of BDS.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking very solid on this primary site. We're not really seeing too much of an opening for FURIA. BDS both winning out when they're anchoring on site, but also when they're roaming off site. They're able to take the contact fights, and even more so when you consider Shaiko going for the spawn peak onto JV92 at the very beginning. Huge kind of play to do in a semi-final with a lot on the line when you go for those peaks early on. But yeah, there it is, straight through main entrance. Easy headshot kill. Then a second as well in towards meeting. He was able to do quite a lot of damage in this round. And really, FURIA could just never really get any kind of momentum back in there. It just felt like they were always playing catch-up.
Yeah, the roam game from BDS here on Oregon has looked really sound so far. FURIA are finding it a challenge to produce, favorable opening duels and entries and then snowball off that. That's the environment in which they thrive, where they get the opener and they quickly snowball rounds by constricting their opponent and not allowing opposing defenders to then reposition into good positions themselves. They're just not being afforded those opportunities.
And it doesn't help right now for FURIA. Their best two performing players of the tournament so far, 1-4, 1-3, KZ and JV92. I mean, JV92 didn't really get much of a chance in that last round, but you need your top fraggers fragging out, especially when you're in the attack here of Oregon. Big site coming up, kids dorms. We always know this is really one of those big sites where certainly far more avenues for the attack. Last time out though, a very good setup from BDS, and FURIA really couldn't do much to break it down. Herds straight away on the balcony. Little site like this is so aggressive in towards Games. Can he find anything up close? He does, but it's not what he was looking for. A shotgun to the face, and Brede gets the opening kill. So aggressive from Herds, and maybe just feeling like he has to force this. He has to do something to get FURIA up into an advantage early in these rounds, but by doing so, walks straight into the trap. Shotgun up close. Really nicely done for Brede.
Yeah, the good mind there. Really well placed by Shaiko. If that wasn't there, Herds likely would have been able to push forward, get an opener. Really uplift his team here on another primary site attack. Unfortunately though, a 4 versus 5. Let's see how the rest of the team can now step up to the mark. This open hold games continues to provide pressure for BDS onto their opposition. FURIA finding it difficult to deal with that. Oh, Nitro outshot. Liquefact takes the high ground now on the boost and plays for his life.
Yeah, JV92 trying to just help out, but he cannot do anything to help the angle there of which Shaiko had against KZ. Another 2-player advantage right now for BDS, and Liquefact back in towards site. Oh, this is looking horrible right now for FURIA. BDS, whenever they want to do anything in this particular map, they are able to do it without really much hesitation. 5 versus 2. JV92 with a slow push in through Attic, but it feels like he's having to look in so many different angles and areas. BDS just know when to counter punch, when to push forward, when to hold. And FURIA right now do not look like the team dictating tempo. It's all BDS and looking very likely to go up 4-1.
The primary sites have been really well locked down here by BDS. Felipox 1v4. And Shaiko shuts down JV92.
And Shaiko's hot right now.
Gets the last as well. He's looking good.
The BDS as a whole looking good. Very strong defense so far here on Oregon. 1 round to go in the half.
That's the problem though, right? It's all well and good to be dominant on primary sites. In Siege, it doesn't really matter how dominant you are in rounds, especially on primary objectives. You now need to convert the secondary, the tertiary. Because a 4-2 for FURIA, I'll take that. I'm sure they'll be a little bit disappointed and frustrated, obviously, that the primary sites didn't, go according to plan. But a 2-4 salvage on any map in this kind of meta at an event that overall has been very defender-sided, that's okay.
Well, I've seen the side choice actually for our upcoming round, and it's not kitchen and meeting, it's kitchen and dining. But yeah, another very dominant round for BDS. They get their 4th round. You kind of made the point there, if you're FURIA and this goes to 4-2, you're happy. I mean, I don't know if you're happy, but I think you're probably content. I think for BDS, though, getting 4 rounds as well is the same measure. I don't think they'd be too disappointed if this does end up 4-2. Does mean for FURIA, of course, they're going to have to be pretty much just as perfect on defense when they switch halves. BDS, though, if they can get a 5th round here, kitchen and dining, well, it's going to be very difficult then for FURIA to bring it all the way back.
So take a repick then, Glaz into the board. I thought maybe we'd see the Ying, typically quite prominent here in Oregon. There was even a phase where Ying was essentially an instaban here on this particular map. Instead flexed out for the IQ this time around, but not to be. Ying eventually doesn't make it through, but they do have sense in play. So a set play potentially on offer here from FURIA, something that they've been able to cook up. I couldn't even theorize what it's going to be. Your probably listening to the biggest ROU hater on the talent team.
And then number 2 right here as well.
But I will say, in combination, especially with the Glaz, Philippox will be quite mobile, yet be able to see through those walls. And if there's any team, honestly, that could cook something up here, that is well calculated, it could be FURIA.
They're on opposite sides of the map. Philippox, the glass is over towards small tower side. JV92 still construction side.
True.
Oh, headshot though. Okay, you don't need the ROU. You don't need the send. Users will sit down, will not be a part of this round any longer. A little lurk down below as well for JD92. Well, there is the sense, and he's just going to back his way out. You do not need to enter in through blue. You can go back out. You've got a bit of pressure over towards small tower. Play as a team if you're FURIA right now. For BDS, they're going to have to honestly renegotiate this round a little bit after losing users. It's a matter of, do you continue to roam, or do you bring players back close to site, or at least in the nade? Talk about aggression here as well in through dorms. FURIA certainly getting a lot more map control this 6th and final round.
Yeah, the Thatcher is in place, so they could go for meeting control, open up in towards kitchen. That's certainly viable. Look at fact though, repositioning over towards classroom. They may throw a spanner into the works. Doesn't quite get that kill. Really eager to find something here to bring it back into a 4 versus 4. Logic bomb rings out. It's Herds holding down the line, low on HP. Look at fact though, able to escape through elbow.
Yeah, Herd's very lucky to stay alive. 6 HP. Used the logic bomb as well to maybe just add a bit of defensive layering. Elsewhere, Shaiko finding a kill into JV92. That one just over towards kitchen. Still with the Glaz, but no more sends. We saw Philippox already on the Glaz find a kill without the sends. Final logic bomb brings out courtesy of Herds. Another bit of contact in through the showers in towards security. KZ, a little bit of a fallback shot. Finds the kill onto Brede. Liquefact trying to get the trade, unable to do so. 6 HP now for 2 players of FURIA. And Solotov takes a player out as well. It's all going the way of BDS now. It's going to be very difficult for FURIA. Nade needs to do a lot. So far, 0-4. Still on that donut. A chance to get off it, and he does. Lands the shots onto Liquefact. 25 seconds left. No diffuser, though, with these players. KZ running over to go and collect it now, small tower side. He has been able to acquire the diffuser. Nade will do a little bit more through meeting into kitchen. He's going to have to take the fight with Shaiko. The timing, though, Solotov just beats out KZ. Again, Kit now on the floor. Nade needs to find 2 kills in 5 seconds, and he hasn't got enough time to do so. There's one, and all Solotov needs to do is hide, and hide he will. Round win for BDS. 5 rounds on the board in that opening half.
Big final round of the half there from BDS, able to check off a tertiary site. And on Oregon, probably the most unpopular objective to select. Over towards kitchen dining. Can be a difficult one to nail down, but they threw some interesting ideas into the mix. Philippox with a great opening pick, but then Shaiko doing a really good job holding the backside of the map. Solotov as well was able to escape small tower and critically get a pick on his fallback as well. Nade then was left alongside KZ. They were split on opposite sides of the map because the diffuser had been dropped earlier on. Made it then difficult for them to connect for trades. Allowed then that remaining defender inside of Showers to playtime.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like at least one of the rounds in which FURIA had some success in the earlier portions. Philippox getting that opening kill on the Glaz, of course, opens things up. 5v4, you're able to get a little bit more map control. I thought they clearly had a bit of an understanding that it wasn't just going to be a small tower push. They wanted to get players on that backside over towards big tower, for example, and maybe try and go for a pinch eventually. But any of those pushes, big tower side, just all fell apart. In through garage, in towards split, all fell apart. The only success they really kind of found was on that small tower side. And eventually second floor in through kids' dorms, but that was really it for FURIA. So BDS have acquired 5 rounds from that opening half. 2 more rounds required to take the opening map of this best of 3 series. Of course, Bank on the other side. This is the map pick for BDS. FURIA also did lose this to SSG yesterday. I suspect if FURIA make the grand final, they will be banning Oregon.
Well, it is also a BO5, so maybe they can let it slide. One last send-off.
Well, to be fair, now they're on the defense, right? So this is where you can get a really good momentum build-up. If you can get those primary sites, suddenly it's back to 5-3. And then the tertiary site, kitchen and meeting, you win that 5-4, and all the pressure's back onto BDS. Oh, a little drop-down shot all the way through security to freeze on Philippox. We'll get the opening kill of the round.
Fade away. Dropping down the hatch. Nice shot back up through the vert.
That's what you want as well. Once you get that opening kill, everyone can go back to basement. That was perfectly played and timed for FURIA. BDS with some work to do now without Liquefact. No buck, so no soft breach really in this round.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Such is the nature of Siege. Typically, basement objectives are the most powerful for the defensive team, and they probably compound the best when you have a man advantage early on into the piece as well. It really shuts down the ability for the attack to go for trades. Crossfires are easier for the defense to establish. So this is going to be tough for BDS. Certainly not impossible, but a challenge. They will need to play essentially perfectly from here. Hope that they can maybe find something for free.
Good shot.
But it's Shaiko to fall.
I don't mind that though from Shaiko, because you're in a position now where you're going to have to force it a little bit, try and push forward, clear out an angle, take a position like freezer, down a player, but by doing so you lose your life, and further compounding in the round now for FURIA, a 5v3 advantage. Well, that's an impact grenade that did not land onto the Rotero. Shield lost. Nade will have to re-navigate his position. 60 seconds. Logic bomb going out from users, and it's going to be the push. Well, they basically line up for Herds. An easy double kill for him. Solotov does find two himself in towards Freezer. Felipox is here as well. Very close left side. He's got KZ in the hallway. But JV92, the third player, the third factor, outnumbered in that situation. 1v3. It was always going to be difficult. FURIA, they will take the primary site of basement 5-2.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get a replay of that opening pick, because that looked pretty gnarly. Certainly an opportunistic moment taken there by the defense of FURIA. Here is said shot. Oh, that was clean. Liquefact did not see that one coming. Establishing the Vert himself up above with that skeleton key, trying to prevent, ironically, the drop down through the hatch, but loses what is actually for him a favorable fight. Good conversion then from that point onwards from the defense. Good trade set up. And FURIA looking rather confident now.
Yeah, it's one site though. It's one round win. It's
something.
It's laundry supply. It's different. Now we go to Kid Storms. This is where you're going to be tested a little bit more. Curious to see what they bring. So they go to Bandit actually. Shockwire batteries in play. I would imagine to electrify games. That's the hesitated guess. Obviously, you can also leave one over towards the other side of Attic and towards Big Tower.
Yeah, I would presume it'll be an Attic juggle. Maybe to an extent they can be used on site in combination with the mirror as well, depending on what config they go for. In terms of the attack, important to note that Nook is being brought. Again, as I was sort of highlighting before, didn't actually eventually get stuck, but Ying also, again, incredibly powerful and this particular objective for gaining space to the likes of double window, for instance, or a pit drop. And then Monty goes without saying, can also be great for creating space. Back to this Nook, though. Not particularly favored currently in the comp meta.
Interesting little proposition here, but only the secondary hard breacher is actually brought into the round along with the ace. So that juggle towards Attic could be a successful one. JV92 is pre-placed in there. You can see second floor, Attic. Love that little feature.
They needs to be a little bit careful here that he doesn't get snuck upon by Liquefact. Again, likely being brought in counterplay to the Valk.
Yeah, but they're roaming. I mean, they're on the move. That's what you want to see from FURIA. It's very easy on Kid Storm sometimes to just bunker in towards side, especially if you're playing something like a Bandit Juggle in towards Attic. You can really block off a big avenue for the attack.
Oh, he's going to get a kill.
Liquefact should get a free one here on to Nade, and Nade will fall. Yeah, Nade just wandering around aimlessly in the dark and eventually runs into Liquefact. Advantage BDS. Deathmark has also been utilized here by the Deimos of Shaiko. Just put some pressure, perceived pressure, onto Herds. Nothing really all that direct. What a shot though from Shaiko. The push through into bedroom. Incredibly favorable now for BDS with a two-player advantage on one of the primary sites here of Oregon. Love the amount of information that Brede can give over to the rest of the team. He essentially has spotted all three of the remaining members of FURIA, confirming their locations, their positions, and Shaiko with a headshot onto KZ. Felipox clearly trying to do something, but it's too little too late through Z. Nitrocell, even if it does land, it won't matter. It's a 5v1. BDS ripping apart this defense of FURIA.
Well, he marches forward to his loss. A flawless round from BDS. I really like what they brought there. The composition, real nice. The Liquefact lurk down below. He was ultra patient. It took until 1:45 remaining for them to get that opening pick, but essentially risk-free. converted it from there. Brede on the Monty, as he was sort of alluding to, relaying really good information, and the pit clear there from the attack. Essentially perfect.
Well, you kind of look at the emphasis for both teams. So for Furia, the emphasis in that round was essentially the juggle towards Attic. We want to block off Big Tower push. Hopefully then for the late game, we can kind of play in towards Pit, for example, off the mirror, right? Then you also have a bit of a presence towards the game side. And you then have one player roaming down below. So what do BDS do? Straight through bedroom. They put the pressure immediately into Attic from the only avenue you possibly can. They deal with that, and then you are able to have, facing in towards Pit, in towards site, the Montagne gets so much vision. They dealt with the Roma, essentially just completely outplayed Furia in that round. That was a very dominant round, maybe the most dominant round we've seen, as it was also flawless so far in this particular map. 6-2 for BDS, and on the verge of taking the opening map pick of this series.
Yeah, BDS's Oregon has been super clean so far. Here is that replay package. Again, the Nook lurk down below. Shaiko with a couple sharp shots as well. The Deimos pressure to compound in towards Pit alongside the info relayed from the Monty was really, really nice. Nothing too fancy there from Shaiko, but just landing those favorable fights, doing his job well. Great cut off top white, flawless round. And I don't think they really have too much to be concerned about at this point.
No, put nothing wrong there, did they? That was absolutely flawless from BDS. Now, Furia is certainly going to be some question marks here. I mean, but it is also an Oregon map in which they're going to be now 0-2.
Well, they doubled down, and they're going to bring the clash for round 9, hiding inside of that kid's bedroom position, hoping that it doesn't get discovered.
No bandit.
Nope. A Rooney in play as well. We've seen quite a large amount of variety here in terms of comps so far, which is good to see.
Yeah, largely the same though for BDS. I don't imagine they'll play this exactly the same. Herds with an armory peak, but unsuccessful. Certainly dominant for BDS so far here on Oregon, making very quick work of Furia to begin this semi-final. A long, long way back now for Furia. 4 defensive rounds in a row required. Guman stepped on, forces Liquefact back outside main entrance. Takes that one out. Brede will drone through behind. Shaiko, I think, eventually wanting to get himself over towards White Stairs. But yeah, big change up now, at least in positioning for Furia. Instead of holding one deep Attic, just reinforce it off. They also have one side of Games Wall opened up, and that's where Nade is sitting on the Clash, although he has also fallen back. So he can take the shield battle if he likes with Liquefact on the Montagne. So it's kind of like, I think maybe wondering wherever the Montagne goes, we'll send the Clash.
Yeah, very much expecting BDS to go for a double window top white push, maybe repel kids. That's where they're playing currently. Not a whole lot of pressure over towards Big Tower. That's still locked down by JV92. Not much action over towards bedroom either, except the lurk from Brede outside main entrance.
It's just looking like White Stairs, big window up above, bit of pressure maybe from down below. Solitov also just kind of lurking in through split. So that's where you want the buck. Open up the floorboards, get some pressure in 90 seconds, bit of time. But I don't emphasize there's going to be too much effort in towards Big Tower. I say that though, and Liquefact actually rotates over here.
Yeah, interestingly enough. Oh, but that's big. The warden down, users. You can see the Candela's cooking on the Ying now.
Yeah, straight in, smoked off the moment, so not a lot of vision. I wonder if the bolt will come through. JV does find 2 kills though. Absolutely required for Furia. Brede able to get one, but eventually traded. Liquefact's not even really in the map, by the way. While all of that was happening, the Montagne wasn't even inside of the building. Huge triple kill from JV92 and keeps this map alive for Furia, as Liquefact getting electrified and eventually shotgunned. And Furia find a 3rd round.
So that was big from down below, BDS clearing out the Warden, and immediately they seized that opportunity to try and activate the Ying. I think the fallout from that, though, was, as we're sort of mentioning, the Monty not in the best of positions. They didn't get a whole lot of value from that, not a lot of pressure. The Clash ultimately was able to deal with it anyway. And so it fell apart there for BDS. A couple of nice shots as well from JV92. And Furia just extend this map a little longer.
Is that the first round? We're seeing Furia really kind of maybe outsmart BDS a little bit. They certainly looked like, okay, to be fair,
I wouldn't even say it was outsmart. I think just out-mechanic, right? Let's look at the replay package. So this was big, right? Warden falls, we see the Ying activate, but then JV92 just with some really nice shots, gets one, holds top white, that's a second. I don't think this is big brain necessarily, right? It's just hitting clean shots, maximizing opportunities, and BDS putting a couple of foot wrong. I mean, JV92, again, another big shot here. That was a fight that he should have lost.
I think the emphasis I'm also putting on is probably the clash play and trying to maybe hinder the Montang as much, because if you think back one round prior, how much the Montang was able to do because they couldn't deal with it. It's not running around killing people, but he was able to get so much vision, so much space, able to progress the attack forward for BDS in that round. Liquefact was essentially just not even playing. He wasn't even inside of the server. 6-3, 3 more rounds required for FURIA. See what they can do. They do get the ability to go back down to basement now. So launch resupply to see whether or not they can get this to a 6-4 scoreline. Capcan in play. It's fun with those EDDs. Also actually being selected by Liquefact, wanting to stay on the shield, but putting the Montang away for now. Being 11 kills, by the way, and there was that watch thread yesterday, and ever since that thread got put up on Reddit, he has played really, really well. Don't go too early, kids.
Okay, so these Talon shields being used outside blue currently. Makes it a little bit more challenging for KZ to contest, not running impacts. So just something that he'll now need to be mindful of for the remainder of the round if he wants to lock down and bunker. As we can see here from the perspective of Breeder, obviously he can't see it, but we can. A couple of red outlines on the first floor, meeting and main stairs. That's for Leapox and Herds respectively. Currently being droned out by BDS. They'll likely want to contest these positions if they are to try and open up that meeting hatch. They do have the Impact Emps and the Secondary Hard Breach to deal with the Electro Claw. For Leapox, though, their biggest barrier to entry at the moment is in full sight of the attack, though. Oh, I like this.
Yeah, I've been spotted. Yellow pink saw the... Oh! What was that from Leapox? Shaco just got sent to the Shadow Realm. Spotted his feet, pinged him out, knew where he was, and yeah, a quick little shot from Leapox. Well, as good as that shot was, FURIA have also fallen apart very quickly, and now BDS have got the advantage for the remainder of this round. Site opened up, bit of pressure. JV92 and Herds, last standing duo, into basement as users droning out. Liquefact already in a very aggressive position through blue bunker. Oh, JV92 gets the kill and brings it back to even margins. Drone down back stairs, but spotted and shot out. And Bride, just at that moment, was making his way towards blue as well, looking to play in behind Liquefact, now by himself.
Oh, Bride can open up bunker here by flushing out Herds.
Logic bomb.
Haven't really been able to necessarily play directly of that, though. 30 seconds now, and they'll double stack.
What? Logic bomb, yellow ping, yet JV92 wins the fight against users, and Bride with the rotate towards backstairs, and for the second time in a row, rotates to his teammate, only for them to be dead by the time he gets there. Okay, very interesting round there as FURIA finds a second in a row, 6-4 on the scoreline.
How did Leapox win that fight?
We're about to see it.
Like, what the hell was that?
I want to see it.
Oh, wow. It's not every day of the week you see anyone, like, just outgun Shaco, period, but not from that kind of position. You're prone, forced out by a grenade. They know exactly when you're going to pop up. That was crazy. Either way, though, BDS will now call their tactical time out. They're one and only in this series. Just to talk things over, how are they going to convert this map? Still 2 more opportunities in regulation.
3 of the last 4 rounds for FURIA. I mean, evidently it's defender side. Oregon has always kind of played it in that manner. We look at those 2 floor split margins, but the issue is the fact that we just saw a basement win. And prior to that, Kid Storm. So if I'm correct, this should be a complete tertiary of Kitchen and Meeting coming up, and then potentially Kid Storms for that final round of the half. So some really good time to talk things over, actually, for both teams, courtesy of the BDS tactical timeout. We are indeed going to Kitchen and Meeting. Here is this replay. So for Leapox, oh my god, guys.
I mean, I don't have to say anything. Everyone just saw that. Wow, that was clean. But there was still that period of play post that. It actually felt like BDS were wrangling momentum in the round.
Yep.
Unable to convert that, though, off the back of JV92 locking down that pillar position. We saw the executive decision to then double stack the rear stage position as well. I think in hindsight, that was maybe not quite it. Equally, though, FURIA with the blue bunker hold made it kind of difficult, regardless of where BDS were going to try and hit. 6-4 the scoreline. Tertiary now in play, meaning kitchen, and the best opportunity for BDS to convert the map. You lose this, OT beckons.
Yeah, it certainly would. I mean, I think Kids Dorm certainly a site in which FURIA will feel far more comfortable than, say, this tertiary site. Although, of course, that was the particular site in which BDS did win. One of them. Bring them on tank once again. Oh, with the Capital. Deimos has continued to be employed by BDS. A bit of a change up as well for FURIA. We see the Malusi. Those Banshees will come out, 4 of them. It's Herd's cooking, though, towards bedroom. No one there, by the way, on that side of the map for BDS. For reference. Big stack towards the construction side. In through blue bunker, maybe thinking about the push, but evidently not, as we watch Liquefact rotate back over towards Big Tower. It's a very early logic bomb as well. Shotgun to the shield. In fact, has got Liquefact very low. That is some successful shooting from JB92.
Yeah, 53 HP, so Liquefact now needing to be perhaps a little bit more conservative for the remainder of the round. Early signs pointing towards a stack in towards this Big Tower position and a default plant position on the stage. There may still be an opportunity for a lurk elsewhere over towards small tower or through front door. But FURIA have responded to this quite nicely. The hatch up above in attic also soft. They can open that up if required. Nade hears me and opens it up. And so that means that BDS will probably have to try and consider clearing up above if they are to try and get the plant down. It is soft. And so Shaiko may actually look to death mark that position and does so successfully. It forces that space to be cleared. And Solotov can confirm that with an asphyxiating bolt.
Yeah, Herd's also just trying to play some contact through pit, but he has been just pushed out of position. Just over a minute remaining. Heavy contingency still on this first floor for FURIA, but you've got Herds up in attic. Interesting JB92 over towards basement. Freezer. Fleetbox actually over towards Z. Herds does find that opening kill. A big one on to Solotov, and the push in towards meeting has successfully begun for BDS. Nade very much stuck on a bit of an island. Herds does lose his life in attic, and KZ's to fall as well. BDS are going to have the numerical advantage now for the remainder of this round. It's 4-3 in their favor with 40 seconds left. Liquefact with the kit. Pushing forward so aggressively, thinking about pulling the pistol, but he doesn't even need to with the help from Bride, and now can stick the plant with crossfires established for BDS. Huge kill from Shaiko. 2 left up. The plant eventually from Felipox, who just walked in, who was watching for BDS. Their eyes were closed momentarily, and Felipox will close them, but no, not for long. BDS win the round. What a scrappy end to that one for this map of Oregon, but it does eventually go the way of BDS. What a strange finish.
Yeah, they're able to weather them down. The tertiary site proving too difficult to defend. BDS taking their map pick of Oregon. Is it the last time we see Oregon in Rainbow Six for a while? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But BDS able to tick that box nicely.
Yeah, a very interesting end to that round, because Felipox, I wasn't expecting him to be able to just waltz in to site, deny the plant, then he gets a kill. At that point, I'm thinking he's doing a James Bond special ops mission. But BDS, to their credit, still had really good positions in which they were able to get the answers, get the trades, and eventually get the map win.
Yeah, they had a really good game plan. I really enjoyed the BDS defense, and I think FURIA, unfortunately, found it a little bit difficult to break down.
They certainly did. Let's go and see what the studio has to say.
What a last round. We thought there for a second that the special mission that Felipox is on was actually going to be coming out to fruition, but that was not the case. BDS take this one very convincingly, very quickly, and it's Oregon. So I guess they really want to write their name down in history as the last team that defeat FURIA on Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, they could be the last team that ever wins a match on Oregon, right? So that's the kind of thing that we don't know right now. I mean, BDS for us, Fresh, we sort of spoke about it, hinted towards it. Any of these 3 maps that you think on paper favor BDS, it would have been Oregon, right? It was their map choice. They started on a good side as well, which is, I suppose, surprising to us as well in a way.
Yep. Yeah, it was surprising that FURIA, obviously when BDS picked that map, FURIA had the choice of starting defense or attack. Obviously chose to start out on the attack, and we kind of hypothesized that it might be a show of confidence, just prefer starting on the attack, try and set the tempo, but it didn't go well for them at all. They were 1-5 on their attacks and always chasing their tail. Now, it is Oregon. There is a reason it's leaving. It is very defender-sided. It has two of the best defensive sites in the game. So we did see that mini kind of comeback mounted, but it kind of just wasn't to be. I thought, realistically, they didn't do enough on their attacks. And it started from that very, very first round, I do want to say, when the whole of FURIA team were trying to chase out Leakyfact from that top floor tier 3 roam, and they couldn't find him. They were chasing a ghost, and that really set the scene for how BDS were going to play their defenses. They were going to be mischievous, they were going to be devious, and they were going to be aggressive together as well. And FURIA really, to be honest, had no answers for it.
Was the attack pick potentially more towards the thought of thinking at overtime and where that would put them?
I think FURIA historically they're one of the teams who do sort of quite like starting on attack, don't they, Fresh? And it's, for me, I don't know why, Ginny. I couldn't tell you. But I know that top teams like starting on attack. You know what? Let's get this out the way. This is the hard side. If we can pinch a couple rounds here, they're going to be demoralized going into their defense.
It gives you so much more confidence. If you, say you hit that 3-3 mark on Oregon defense, if it wasn't 1-5 and it was 3-3, gives you loads of confidence going into that second half, knowing that you are in full control. Like I say, I would call it like a calculated gamble. Obviously, it's not paid off inside of this game, but it's paid off plenty of times for them before.
Yeah, and we're looking at BDS. They're the ones that get to take away their own map pick, and that is not necessarily what we've seen from them yesterday. So that also brings questions on what we're going to see on FURIA. Almost call them W7M. What we're going to see on FURIA's map pick from the side of BDS, because it feels like they have adapted and they have made changes and it's come through fruition, and FURIA's struggling a little.
Yeah, and I think we saw BDS, unless I'm mistaken, yesterday, bank was their 7-0 victory over FaZe, right? And they also started on the defense. So if they were to start defense again, just like they have map 1, I don't know, it looks difficult. It looks tricky for them on paper, but FURIA are an amazing bank team. It's the one thing I commented on during the match. For me, I think FURIA at their absolute best, and they play at their absolute best when they're on big maps. Lots of space. Herds, go take this space. KZ, I'm going to follow you in. Let's use this space together. Let's pinch things. Let's work together. And I think Oregon, we just didn't see it. As we alluded to, Fresh, BDS just controlled the pace of it. They really did. But I think historically, FURIA are so good at controlling the pace on the bigger maps.
I guess we're going to have to wait and see, because that is the next map that we're going to be heading into. And talking about controlling the space, any other adaptations that we're expecting? Because obviously we're aware that they're good at controlling the space, so BDS should be aware of that as well. They've lost to them before. They know how they'd approach this. I'm expecting something new from BDS. Yeah,
well, something new, something old. I'm going to say one word: Shaiko.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's something new. Maybe a revitalized Shaiko within the current system of BDS. Thought he was excellent inside of
Sunny Shaiko?
Sunny Shaiko, that's what we're going to start calling him. I think you peddled that, Tristan. I don't know if that was one that you created or not, but yeah. If you look at these kills from Shaiko, I think particularly on the defense, lots of it isn't going and be the guy that's the front line. It's a lot of trying to help his teammates, play around his teammates. Of course, there's some of that, but even look at these kills here. He's not necessarily the first one in the building. He's had to adapt his game because there are still plenty of other aggressive players on the side of BDS, but he seems to be actually prospering within that.
Yeah, and a 7-4 scoreline comes out from the side of BDS, and if I were to say this, like, pretty dominant, I don't think it would be debatable.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of FURIA's round wins were what? Laundry defense, right, Fresh?
Yeah.
As we know currently, right now, it's probably a big reason why Oregon's been removed from the pool. It's the most defender-sided bomb site across all of Rainbow Six, all of our competitive map pools, maybe even our non-competitive map pools. It's the strongest bomb site. BDS controlled the pace of this. You've seen it there with Shaiko. He didn't even need to be all the way at the front because they, like, FURIA just couldn't open rounds up in a way. We've seen it in one time where Herds really tried on that kid's attack where he thought, you know what, I'm going straight through the master bed, straight through the closet, and Bredo was waiting for him with a shotgun.
And I think that was a real acceptance from BDS's point of view that this is how Herds plays. It's not, let's go and target Herds, let's not go and take him out of the game. It's just like, be guns up, be aware, be ready that he might just come floating through a rotate that you're not expecting. In that instance, Bredo absolutely was ready for that, and I think BDS were fully ready for how FURIA play.
Yeah, Herds was a player that we highlighted from the side of FURIA, and we said that this is one of the players to look forward to in terms of how he's going to be able to open up some of these rounds. BDS was looking forward to it as well, and they were ready for that too, but we are also ready to head over to a break because we have our second map of this semi-final ready between BDS and FURIA, so don't go anywhere because you genuinely do not want to miss this.
Well, the defending world champions on the brink of elimination after dropping the opening map to BDS on Oregon. Bank coming up very shortly for what is, well, a big opportunity for BDS. A potential grand final on the other side if you do take this respective map.
Yes, sir. BDS with a 7-0 victory over FaZe on Bank yesterday. So they come in with hot form this evening. But obviously, it is the pick of FURIA, and so full expectation that they have probably watched that match very intently and know exactly what to bring to counter it here tonight.
It's always one way to kind of look at it, right? Where it's like, well, BDS won 7-0 yesterday, so what should we do, guys? Let's pick it, because we watched them and we can kind of counter-strat, but it's always a risky play to do that, because for BDS, well, they can go into this knowing full well that, yeah, okay, they probably watched us play it yesterday, we'll change a few things up, and if that is the case, then I kind of like BDS's odds. We were speaking a little bit in the green room about how we think the series is going to play out from here. The consensus seems like a 2-0. Like, the way that BDS are playing, the second half of yesterday, coupled now with the beginning here as well today, they are looking like the team that's going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, difficult to stop, certainly, but if there's any team that can stand in their way, it is probably FURIA. They have shown phenomenal resilience at a lot of international events now at this point, and they always tend to have the ability to, I suppose, carry close results just over the line, get those victories in these big matches, and so I wouldn't be putting a line through them quite yet, but I do think that the first probably 3 to 4 rounds are going to be very telling. They are starting on attack. I think it was you mentioning Bank has actually been, surprisingly here at EWC, the most defend-decided map, so they need one hell of a start.
You stole my Xenox fun fact of the day that I was about to bring up. Yeah, 68.3%. You want to know what is the second most defend-decided? It's Oregon,
Okay.
68.2%. So I was refreshing the page. I was like, oh, I hope that stat's still correct after the defensive Oregon that we just saw. Indeed, by 0.1%, it is the most defender side, which is an intriguing stat because I feel like Bank isn't historically one of the most defender-sided. Sometimes it can certainly favor defense, but not the most, right? I mean, you got maps like Labs, Oregon, Clubhouse. I feel like they're all a little bit more ingrained to favor defense than Bank.
Yeah, certainly so. In fact, there was a real period of time there where Bank, especially on some specific sites, you think about top floor especially, got unlocked quite nicely by the attack, and it was actually quite favorable. And the defense over time has started to clue into some of those particular plays, and attacks generally in Bank have started to stagnate a little bit and become a little bit more linear. So we'll see if that's the case in this matchup. I, again, am expecting FURIA to throw some interesting things inside of the server tonight, and given that BDS had that phenomenal result last night against FaZe 7-0 flawless, they're going to have to.
Yeah, and they're going to have to also change the narrative in terms of those statistics, rather, talking about defense and offenses. FURIA will be attacking first up, which I actually think maybe is a good thing here on Bank. Attacking into it first. Can you get some reps on the board? Can you try to steal a couple of rounds? Not too far away from getting into this particular map, of course, for those that missed it. BDS taking the opening map of Oregon, which was their map pick. It's an intriguing one here now for FURIA, having picked into it. They better be bloody ready, because if they're not, they're going to be going home, and there is going to be no grand final dance against their old organization, W7M. BDS do win this, and they do make the grand final. They have to be going in as dead set favorites.
Yeah, probably. I think it would be pretty tricky to make a case that W7M would be the favorite team in that matchup. In fact, even against FURIA, I don't think they would be either, right? They'll probably go in as the underdog, in my opinion, yeah.
I feel like that would be a closer matchup, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably.
Like FURIA,
Interregional
would be
as
like
well.
a bit of a 50-50, whereas BDS, they look, to me, when they play their best siege, it's the best siege that we've seen at the tournament.
Yep. Which is a big statement to make, right? Because overall, I think the quality at this event in terms of gameplay inside of the server has been really strong. No one's really been dragging their heels too much, especially in this playoff bracket. So that's a testament to the skill of BDS and the amount of experience that they have.
What are you looking for from FURIA, though, in this opening half? Kind of trying to just keep it a little bit focused in on the attack into Bank, having what we saw from them on Oregon as something to maybe offer a bit of an insight into. Do you expect to see them maybe pick up the pacing a little bit, go for more direct entry hits, clear out roamers? What are you expecting to see from FURIA? What do you want to see from FURIA? Because they're going to have to start well. They're going to need these attacking rounds.
I mean, it probably goes back again to the Herds Keys combo, right? Herds on the primary entry, then Keys as that secondary, and utilizing the space that then gets created ahead of him by Herds. In terms of pacing, it's difficult to say on Bank. A lot of the objectives just don't really offer, route one opportunities where you can get in and messed with the opponent too early on into the piece. Certainly there can be opportunities, but they're limited, and you really have to be confident in order to capitalize upon them. If there's anyone that's going to do it, it's the man on screen, Herds. Again, on Oregon, he had good moments, probably not having a huge, massive impact, not enough to turn the tide, but he has the potential to do so.
Yeah, someone who did have some of those big moments was probably Shaiko, who ended up beyond double-digit kills, incredibly positive throughout the majority of Oregon. It wasn't just the Shaiko show, though. In fact, BDS as a team, I thought, played really, really well. They just controlled the spacing of the map. Pure roam game was electric at many times. FURIA just couldn't really shut down the roamers. And when it did come time to just kind of sit site, play the anchor defense, they were far and away better at that as well. FURIA just looked shaky across the board. And that is probably the issue for me going into Bank, especially on defense first up now. If you're BDS, Bank is the kind of map that can certainly facilitate that roam game, but also the multi-layered defense. You think about even sites like Basement, for example, where you might huddle the majority of your players' basement, but then you can rotate up main stairs and get back in on that first floor, go for a bit of a flank, and that's what I'm expecting from BDS. So FURIA is going to have to be ready for that.
Yeah, flanks and roams are the name of the game on Bank. You also think about the peel-off defense opportunities, right? What we mean by that is if you're defending basement, you can have players stationed top floor, they eventually filter down to first floor, they can eventually then safely route down to the basement, not having to take big risks in order to facilitate that, but it can waste so much time and then allow these defensive teams, BDS, to kick things off, to lean into the Goyo, the smoke, waste time, make default plant tough, and then really put a whole lot of pressure back onto those entries from FURIA to either pick these players off on the roam, on the cutoff, so they have the advantage late round for easier trades, or to play flawlessly on the drop late round, which is really, really tough. And I agree, right? On Oregon, there were multiple times where we saw like big tower roams or basement works or whatever the case was. And FURIA often looked a little bit stalled out. They were sometimes playing off dated info, and that's only going to be exacerbated even more so on a map as big as Bank. So they need to play better on the roam clear here, and hopefully that's something they've discussed during the break.
Goes without saying, if you've been watching here, BDS clearly having some PC issues before we can get started here on Bank. And it seems to be just BDS. I'm actually kind of watching FURIA, and they're all just kind of sitting there. We saw Herds actually cleaning his mouse pad, getting ready to go there, flicking through their sheets.
I have word there may have been a spillage on stage. So had to get that tidied up, but it doesn't look like we're too far away from
fist bump's going out, which does mean, and I can see all the players inside the lobby, that we are heading to Bank for this match. BDS one map away from yet another grand final appearance for FURIA. Must win. They must get this done to send us to labs if they are to stay alive here for EWC.
Well, final fist bumps then roll out as we jump into the operator ban phase. Map 2 Bank between BDS and FURIA. Big onus here on FURIA to fight back on their selection, but it won't be easy heading into the most defend-decided map at the event thus far. OSA off the board. We saw a little bit of OSA back on Oregon. We'll take no further part here on map number 2. Eliminate some of the opportunities that we might see, especially top floor, bot floor, play the back lines. They will now be stripped away here. We'll see what the follow-up is. Likely a shield. Oh. No, the Deimos.
Love that.
And you can see in the player cams, the banter between FURIA and Shaiko.
Shaiko banned out.
Yeah, I love that.
Using that on Oregon. And you can see it in the player cam. So that is a straight target ban from FURIA. The Kaye to follow. I do like the OSA ban as well. You kind of mentioned it very quickly, but you know, things like CEO repel game, through top square, you can get those shields down, really helps out, especially then in towards server room. You can get those long sight angles, and then even sometimes pushing like janitor hallway, for example. So you can do quite a lot. Very versatile in a map like Bank. Mirror, self-explanatory. Fear or respect, says Shaiko.
I love it.
I think a bit of both.
Yeah. I wouldn't blame them for being a little bit frightened after what he was able to accomplish even on Oregon in the limited rounds that we did see.
It's a good map for Deimos as well.
Well, exactly right. I mean, probably the best example is we see Deimos used to clear like a janitor mirror hold, for instance. I know mirror is banned out, but it's still a power position that you can play from down below for that vert. Obviously not an option now, and Shaiko will need to show his versatility and probably, you know, mess around with some of the other entry operators like an Ash, for instance.
Certainly no one trick.
No. There's still plenty of other operators he'll be able to play.
Herds, by the way, did say respect. Followed by about 5 KKKKKK, which is a laugh, of course, in Brazilian. So, we head into Bank. BDS taking on FURIA, second map of this best of 3. all fun and games between these two teams, and certainly the respect, as Herds was saying, I think being shown more so with that ban than fear. I think it's saying, hey, you got us on Oregon, we're not going to allow you to get us on Bank. BDS to defend first, and again, kind of going back to the pre-show discussion that most defend-decided map at the tournament thus far, but we do know Bank certainly can be versatile. Attack can win out, but sites like Locus and CTV is going to be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, records are meant to be broken, so we'll see if you're able to buck that trend here on Bank. And it will be a fall-off roam with both Liquefact and Shaiko off-site. Herds quick entry, top square, looking to cut Liquefact off. Spots the heels of the Valk as she runs away. Liquefact, though, critically able to survive. You must stay alive on this roam. The #1 goal, waste time, and then get back towards the objective. Especially if you still had that Nitro, but obviously just having the manpower on the objective important. Herds!
Oh, what?
Wow.
That is such an aggressive swing from Herds. Usus was ready for it.
I mean, it's textbook Herds, but a good read from Usus.
We saw that a little bit back on Oregon with those push-throughs, bedroom, kid storms from Herds. Sometimes successful, sometimes not. Yeah, good for Usus, though, to stand tall, win that fight. Has taken a bit of a beating, but you take out the Grim. Casey has slipped in towards Garage, playing behind the ambulance at the moment, and well, this is a bit of a tricky one now for Furia. It's Talers, you got Square, you got Garage. Everyone basically all around the map. No one necessarily playing off of another teammate. So all kind of solo push from Furia. Liquefact in elevator. Aware of the fact that his position is known, he will drop. Casey does find a kill on to Solitov. Drone out. Has spotted 3. He has spotted 3 players.
Yeah, understandably not wanting to re-peek into that. Waiting for the rest of the team to help apply pressure, keep a barrier, facilitating the swing from Shaiko. Well, Keys survives that duel, push down main, Shaiko caught. So good teamwork there from Furia, but the trade opportunity presents itself. Liquefact pushes back up main. JV92 elsewhere, good for 1. Brito to find Philippox, and it's a scrappy 2 versus 3 with Shaiko on the ground.
JV's though inside, he's into CCTV, but he doesn't have the kit. It's in a bad spot. 2 versus 2 with Casey very low. Of course, so is Liquefact and Usus. 40 seconds, time a factor.
Oh, he has Kit.
Kit as well with BDS. Usus holding in towards Vault. Oh, the swing, unsuccessful. A second kill now found in the round for JV92. It's a 1v2, but Kit with Liquefact. That's a big win condition still here for BDS. Can't make it through Peepers, it's blocked off. Oh, the drone, position known. Prones through, 20 seconds. He can certainly play the time, and I think he's wary of the fact that the push is coming through Staff and open area. Hides his position.
He's right there!
What is he doing? What is he looking at? I thought he was just hiding and then he's going to spring out and shoot him. He just doesn't do anything. How do you not hear him running at you?
What? I'm so confused.
I think JV92 actually, for a split second, was about to run past him as well. I want to see his POV there. He's probably wondering, what is this guy doing?
I mean, his position was fine, but he just has to pop up at the right moment.
Exactly.
It's a free kill, and then he has the 1v1 favorable
I thought he played it perfectly. I thought he completely ran into the roam and the rotate, and then he just sits there staring down the hatch.
That was bamboozling. That's probably the most befuddling moment that I have personally seen at this event so far. It was very scrappy through the mid-round.
Let's watch this from JV92. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hello.
What is he doing?
I want to see the player cam. I think he may have been saying some nice words after that one, questioning what was going on.
So for what it's worth, I think in that instance, he's just probably saying, I'm going to give up the kit. I'm going to expect them to run down main and then run in towards side. I'm going to hopefully catch them through the hatch.
Oh, game plan was fine. It's just execution. I don't know if there was a comm that cluttered it and he didn't hear it, or I don't know, siege sound happened. I don't know, but
yeah, that's a strange one. Big round though for Furia, an opening attacking round. We've already highlighted how defensive it's been this tournament, but to get an opening attack on Locker's CCTV as well, of all sites here on Bank, that is a crucial start for Furia after losing the opening map on Oregon. Great way to begin their Bank. And for BDS, left probably scratching their heads for what was definitely a scrappy round.
Yeah, I wonder if that's going to set the tone for the rest of this map, where the mid-round is very fiercely contested, or whether or not we'll see a bit more structure and late-round executes come into the fray. Monty in play round 2. We'll see how this is employed. You can find value from the Montang either towards top square or through lobby. Lurk currently below, and so Brito needs to be careful. Herds, I think the game plan from him very clear early on that he wants to navigate into the map early, find opportunities, catch BDS off guard with their pants down. If he can do that and find free entries, it applies so much more pressure onto the rest of the defense.
Yeah, so they bring the Bandit here to really hold off, making sure that Kanto wall doesn't get opened up. More hallway control. Shaiko can then play in between Stock and that shield hallway far more vigorously without having to worry about getting shot in the back or eventually getting cleared out. Leapox looking to just open up square. I would imagine for FURIA, they're going to completely ignore Spiral side, Kanto side, along with the elevator push through the hallway. This could be rather direct through square. Hertz with the opening kill onto Bride. They got huge square control. Oh, but through the side. Liquefact finds the kill onto Nade, and the Montang, the shield facing the wrong way. Really good positioning from Liquefact. Deals with the Montang, who I think would have been a really big win condition in this round to eventually push into site and allow the plant to go down. But JV92 does find Shaiko, and maybe the Deimos ban has proven to be strong.
Oh.
As that angle found, Solotov lands the headshot onto Herds. And like the opening round, this one has followed suit, similar in fashion. Although to the right side is JV92 standing still. Users gets aggressive on the move through Stock. 3-2 in favor of BDS.
Yeah, so much back and forth in just the first 2 rounds here between BDS and FURIA. Still anyone's round, really. If KZ can find entry, needs to clear Stock, though. Users holding down the line. Leapox elsewhere, good for one.
Oh my god.
KZ.
He's pinched, though.
He's desperate.
Can't let him get the cross. Leapox falls down, and he's allowed KZ almost to get the cross. Users has actually crossed to the right side. I don't even think he was aware of it. They trade each other, but BDS had one left standing, and therefore they get the round.
Oh, there's mid-round, so
It's very chaotic.
pretty crazy so far. Yeah, a lot of chaos ball around the map. Teams having to really calculate how aggressive they want to play in these key positions. What kind of ground are they willing to forfeit, whether that be on the attack or defense. We continue to see that entry lurk threat from Herds as well. Play a bit of havoc. On screen now, Herds getting Bride.
So this is the moment here. Liquefact getting that kill onto Nade. You're the Montang, it's CEO. If you can push in through top square, eventually then hold an angle, deal with any potential nitrocells, someone can come in behind you, get that plant down, and then play off the repel.
And Nade's immediate reaction to that is, why the hell is he pushing through the breach? Yep. But it's those kinds of little moments throughout the mid-round that are making or breaking rounds.
Yeah, and in that moment as well, Users had made the cross back. Could have been a 1v1, had that little fight towards Stock been won a little bit cleaner for FURIA, but they couldn't. 1-1 on the scoreboard.
5 seconds to insertion.
Certainly a different tone, I feel like, here on Bank than what we saw from Oregon. Oregon felt a little bit more systematic, and the pacing was more controlled. The fights were a bit more controlled as well, the way everyone was positioning. But here so far on Bank, it's really playing into the chaos ball. Just half an open area for this third round. Through blue for Nate.
Claymore up.
So the double claymore for the blue stairs flank, indicating that it's likely going to be a power position held here by FURIA, and it's Nade currently.
I have you covered.
It's a round often taken by the defense. Through the late round, provides a good flank opportunity through bot square, but for the attack early on at least, can apply pressure as well. Herds is loving the vert from down below so far. This time CCTV can hold the drop down through Jan. Solotov in a fight. Leapox deep with the fuser.
This is aggressive. This is fast-paced. They weren't ready for it. Straight in towards site. Plant can go down from Leapox. I don't think anyone's going to be close enough to be able to deny. Only one nitrocell available, and that's Solotov. Not even remotely close. The kill, though, lands. It's only one up. It's only Herds, and he's at blue stairs. Surely they can try and stick the plant. This one, someone close. Red ping. They lined up. He gets the double kill. Down to Users and Solotov. Nitrocell misses the mark. Herds. Not a lot of ammunition remaining. Needs to fall back down, reload, and then try once again. Onto the plant is Users, but he can't clear the close angle. Nicely done from Solotov. Huge round win for BDS. The fast-paced push, unsuccessful for FURIA.
I was definitely hot here at EWC, that's for sure. But that round, sweat-inducing for BDS. If there's any player inside of the server that has the capability of pulling that one back, it is Herds. Posted in that top blue position. I like the explosive nature of the push there from FURIA. They got good ground, but the retake from BDS, very, very clean, and then composed here. Solotov, despite being on 30 HP, held a really good line after that lineup from Herds, and just prevented him from pulling off a spectacular clutch.
Yeah, a very intriguing round, actually, because I think, you know, typically when you look at stuff in open area, you go for the more conventional, you know, like open up triple wall, for example, and can you, or quad, and can you then play off of that through square, through archives, then in towards admin, bit of beepers pressure. So you kind of then also can go to stock, play through the hatch. How many times have we seen like a hatch drop through stock? That was just like, no, we're just going to go straight in, waltz in with the Montang. If we can get a kill, great, then we go plant behind in towards default. And they do that. And the fact that when they got that plant down, I feel like 8 times out of 10, you go on and win the round. So the response from BDS, swift and successful.
So Echo in play then for round number 4. Recently received the shotgun. Pardon me, recently received the ACOG. Although Brede is playing the shotgun. So I do wonder where he will elect to post. IQ in play, and so Herds can spot out that utility and shock drones can shoot the Yokais out as required. Another lurk entry Herds. Play close by. Liquefact. Awkward one there for Herds, but he at least survives. Solotov elsewhere though, good for one.
Loving the pressure right now from BDS, right? Not just falling back to site. Fleetfox does find 2 kills. Oh, and a third as well. Liquefact thinking maybe a chance to get the trade, but unsuccessful. And just like that, FURIA have got themselves a 2-player advantage, looking to find their second round win on Locker's CCTV on Bank.
And we often talk about the peel-off defensive roam. It should be relatively easy, or it's at least typical for the defense to route back towards site without dying, without having to take fights. So that X-Factor moment there from Fleetfox.
Got to swing this if you users. You've got the intel, the yellow ping, and he lost it anyway. KZ finds the double kill through Garage, despite the Yokai, despite the yellow ping intel. He gets the double, and it's a double round win on basement for the attack of FURIA.
And just following on from that point, that moment from Fleetfox, massive, huge 3K. Even just finding 1, definitely 2 is massive in preventing the fallback. To find 3 is pretty much unprecedented and just absolutely decimated that defense.
A strange old Bank so far. FURIA able to find lockers and CCTV twice from 2 attempts.
Oh my god, that was crazy.
But on the tertiary sites, they've failed so far. 3 there from Fleetfox certainly was enough to really make it difficult for BDS. And look, honestly, at that point, the double swing to Garage is the right play off the Yokai information. KZ, though, just ready.
Located by attackers.
So 2-2, 2 attacking rounds for FURIA, and making basement very difficult for BDS to go to. So much so that, yeah, they're going to just go straight back up towards CEO. Last time out, of course, the Montang was the win condition for FURIA. That got shut down by a Liquefact. They will not bring it this time around. Might go for the more conventional routing. Maestro in play for BDS as well.
I do wonder if BDS next round go back to basement and just full bunker down.
I don't know. I think they just go staff and open.
Yeah, I mean, they got exploited pretty quickly, though. I know, obviously, successful retake, but... Well, we'll worry about that in 3 minutes' time. Let's see how this one plays out. Can BDS establish a lead or FURIA?
I mean, to be fair, if they do go back to lockers and CCTV, it's probably a case of understanding that peel-off needs to be so much quicker, or just not being so aggressive. We see teams typically just kind of hold in towards open and stuff, and eventually then drop the hatches, and same with elevator, for example. I think they haven't really been doing that on that particular site. By the way, Bride's on 27 HP. Didn't quite catch how that has actually developed, but not ideal for the BDS defender. 1 and 4 as well. Struggling to get into this game. One of the higher rated players coming in today.
Scanning. Stay sharp.
Drone activated.
Bomb spotted.
So good counterplay here from Herds. Spots 2 Valkyrie cameras top square from down below from the safety of this square position. Impacts from Nade. Good counter onto the keeper barriers of Liquefact on the Azami. Maestro also in play. Something to note, not particularly popular at the moment, but another tool in gaining information, potential plant denial tool as well, site construction with the pistol. But what has Herds been able to cook up? He spotted some good information. Spots a player on cam. That's not a position that can be cleared though from below. But I wonder how much of this information has the cogs turning in the minds of FURIA at the moment on attack.
Bomb
It is Shaiko that finds the opening kill though onto JB92. One of the hard breaches now dealt with.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Gasbabe thrown over towards that janitor hallway position. Leapbox on the rappel outside CEO has been able to quiet the kit. So now they're going to make their way in. The fact that the kit's still on the rappel though, I'm not liking what I'm seeing right now from FURIA. KZ and Terrace in towards top square. Needs to win that fight, but Shaiko clean with a headshot. Makes that swift and successful. Herds now through stock. Should be able to get this trade if he's quick enough. There was a flash thrown out in the hallway. That should be an easy kill. Indeed it is. Shaiko, no idea where that was coming from. Nade in towards sight, by the way, as Herds clearing out this hallway. Nade actually finds the kill in sight. A chance again for Herds, but he can't win that second one. We've won. Through a long desk, Solotov winning that one, and Bride knowing full well that Nade had already made his way in towards sight. Able to get the quick swing and kill. BDS get the round win. And again, anything outside of basement has been, pretty comfortable for BDS. FURIA rather slow in their approach that round.
Yeah, they got a lot of information down below, did FURIA, off the back of the IQ scanner. They weren't really able to capitalize upon it a ton. Rappel game wasn't particularly fruitful either for them. Shaiko in stock held that line down really nicely. Big 2K from him. Eventually cleared. And Herds and Nade did a decent job of trying to chip away at that advantage that BDS had. Unfortunately, though, with overwhelming odds, unable to overcome them.
Such a small minigame is that battle in towards stock. It opens things up, especially as the attacker can get entry, can play vert, depending on the site. I feel like it's been won by BDS almost every single round, either Shaiko or users, who has been aggressive, and that's actually something that they've done well so far in stock, is it's not just a case of play behind the janitor hallway shield or just play behind the keeper barrier. They're swinging, they're pushing, they're being aggressive, they're getting these kills. That's making it more difficult for FURIA. They can't quite get stock control really all that easily.
Wait, is this Archives?
5 seconds left.
Yeah, okay, wow. Okay. So Archives then for round number 6, by far and away the least favored site for defense here, Bank. Hold that thought for a moment. Solotov going for a spawn peek, but that won't amount too much. So BDS giving up on basement, sensing that it's too dangerous for them. A site where, as a defensive unit now here on Archives, where you need to be very dynamic. There's a lot of different opportunities that FURIA could look to exploit.
Yeah, it certainly is. Multi-layered as well. Certainly through electrical into a square, something to consider. Front desk and main hallway and Spiral, you still want to defend as well on that side. Bride has got a shield man in his way. Coming up, the logic bomb has been also used. Probably waiting for the reinforcements to follow him behind, but instead just sits the corner, trying to just find a leg to shoot at. Angle has been found, and that's a Montang turning around. The knife kill, though, from KZ onto Bride is successful, 3-4, but it is in favor of BDS. Drone out for Philippe Pox over towards Blue Stairs. The other two still out in the exterior. This is a really good round now for BDS.
Yeah, I think FURIA laid all their chips on the table there for a horizontal take, facilitated by the Monty. And any potential now for Vert also diminished with Nade off the board on the buck.
Bomb spotted.
Oh. Shots don't land from Herds there. Pinging Solotov out with the Vigil scan active. Philippox falls elsewhere, and a 4-2 half beckons.
Yeah, Shaiko's just been so incredibly active on the defense, and a third kill found in quick succession in this round. It's all just too easy. The Boss Cheetah finished it off from Solotov. It's a 4-2 half in favor of BDS. Shaiko with a bit of a statement to close out that half. And a really good side choice in the end, and played really well from BDS. You've got to be active, you've got to control the map. You've got to deny those entries as well. A bit of an intriguing battle, of course, open towards Stuff Open with that Bride battling up against the shield play of KZ. In the end, actually, KZ did get the kill. He got the melee kill, but then got traded very much straight away after that one. So Yeah, very intriguing round, but really well played from BDS.
Yeah, good support network on the extension there to open area.
Yeah, look at Shaiko. He's moving around so much to get these kills.
I mean, like I said, you've got to be super dynamic on that side because there's just so many different avenues that FURIA can take, and then the kind of team that are always going to find those pockets of space. But yeah, Shaiko moving around, remaining unpredictable. Good conclusion to the first half there from BDS. FURIA now, their time to shine on what is the most favored side in the map pool at this event.
I mean, that's the thinking is 2 attacks might be enough for FURIA, but it's all dependent on their own defenses. And the intriguing part about it is the way in which they got their attacks was quite unconventional, winning out basement site, winning out the primary site, both times, both instances of that. FURIA are now going to be hoping that said primary site can be their go-to on the defense, and that's exactly where they go for this opening round. 2-4, BDS technically now 3 rounds away from a grand final appearance here at the EWC. What can they do? Through main entrance, FURIA Esports. Once again, Shaiko top fragging for the second round, or second map in a row.
And successful fall off for JV92. He can juggle credits on the Fenrir now from the safety of basement. Still a presence above from Herds though, open area. He continues to probe around.
I'm surprised he hasn't got more presence though. You're playing into the castle, you got the barricades, you can really lock down open area by himself at the moment.
Oh,
He does actually find the opening kill just as we switched away from him. It's the observing curse. Solotov does lose his life. That's the IQ as well. Handy opening kill for Fury.
For Fury.
FURIA, sorry. Not Fury.
How do BDS now break this down with Solotov off the board and Herds firing? Util clear over towards blue. Perhaps BDS will try to ignore this hold up above, but it's easier said than done. Good clear through the quad wall though.
But that's where, you know, there's 90 seconds left. Understand the mission. We were talking about it before in terms of that peel defense. You've got 90 seconds left. Maybe it's time to just drop hatch and go back to site. Instead goes actually wandering into staff, and then you just get picked up from a player in square. Opens things up, BDS get the kill. They can play the hatches now. And no response too for FURIA because you've got the other 4 players in basement. So Herds really needed to get back to basement in that situation.
A bomb has been located.
So a minute on the clock then as we take stock of the utility available, especially to the defense. 3 smoke gas babes for Keezy. And he can flush out default.
Let me in.
Grim Bees for space. Hatch drop likely on the agenda here for BDS. Diffuser in the hands of Breed 8. Could even be a backdrop.
Only 2 drones remaining, so in terms of information, not quite fully there. Flash into elevator, a little bit annoying. The bees are bouncing though from the Quan Hive launcher of Liquefact. Main stairs for JV92. In a good position. Comes a player, and it's a win for Shaiko. 2 kills in this round, now up to 9-5. Advantage for BDS on the push now in towards basement, in towards fall. Uses clean against Felipox. They're just winning all their 1v1s everywhere around the map. BDS taking out basement, which has not been won by a defensive side at all in this game of Bank.
Yeah, which is wild. Again, compounded by the fact that heading into this match, it's been a very defender-sided map. Either way, though, good showing there from BDS. And it prompts the tactical from FURIA. Not liking what they saw there on the first defensive hold down below.
Well, and also, you've got to beg the question here. Do we just go away from basement and kind of emulate what we saw from BDS? They lost outlockers, and then they went upstairs. Are we going to see that now as well from FURIA? 5-2 scoreline, 2 rounds to go for BDS. A grand final tomorrow on the other side. If they could just get through these next few rounds. Some glum faces on the side of FURIA, a long way back into this. They are on defense, but a shaky start to begin. As they talk things over, it's now 3 rounds in a row for BDS.
Yeah, not any huge mistakes. Certainly not as noticeable compared to what we saw in Oregon, right? But I think BDS just having a slight edge at the moment.
Though, right? Not that instance, but here.
Yeah.
Why are you still in staff with 90 seconds left? You're actually not even at the drop position inside of open at the hatch. So it's a really mispositioned from Herds cost his life. That's one less player. And you think about all these fights happening in basement. If you have Herds, you've got an extra player that can play into that trade game battle. In the end, they just lost a bunch of ones on site. Ultimately, if you have Herds, maybe that helps you overcome the battle. 5-2. Second floor. Top floor we go. CEO Executive. FURIA. Now 3 rounds adrift from BDS, who I feel like have got a really good stranglehold on this series.
Well, let's see then how round 8 will play out. Capitao, Ying, Twitch, repicked alongside the Habana. And so some opportunistic operators now on the board, especially for that execute. The Grim Ying combo can be really potent in flushing out positions, locking defenders in place. Habana, especially for a Kanto wall open and a lobby repel, can cut off that half of the map leading into stock hallway. And with Twitch on the board, those shock drones can deal with utility as required and, of course, just garner additional info. So let's see how this one then plays out. Kind of game is BDS going to employ? Will it be repel heavy, potentially? Castle, though, makes that difficult as lines of sight will be limited. Eyes on Felipox, he's in stock hall. Flores, his biggest threat. Those Roteros being used to clear util top square. And that shield potentially vulnerable. Solotov trying to get to work with the shock drone, not offering much. Keeper barriers insight as well to nullify, again, that repel game in combination with the castle. So that there's a lot of different layers here to this defensive hold from FURIA that BDS need to try and break down.
It is also rather defaulty though at times as well. I mean, I do kind of like JV92 on the first floor of the elevators rather than the top floor. Adds a bit more of an element to the vertical nature of this particular site. Heavy repel game though from BDS. Has been, of course, this has been a rather stalled out and slowed down 8th round compared to the pacing of the last couple. Long Desk has droned out KZ. Shaiko with the drone as well towards square. Smoke in. Do we see the repel? Not yet. Although we do see the Candelas now from Breedate. Does have the diffuser as well in the back pocket. Liquefact down below. Repel coming in now. Shaiko with the opening kill. No surprise. He now goes to double digits. Red ping information. Although full white now for Solitol. Friendly fire with the Candela. He continues to push forward. Smoke is up. Bees are buzzing. Pings are going out. Another flash as well. In fact, a bit of a flash dump coming through on the other side of the bomb chassis. Solitov has surely got to win this battle with the red ping intel from the Quan Hive launcher. JB92 Nade holding on despite being pinged out 3 versus 3. Still a lot of time remaining in this round, punching the wall, but then losing his life. That was the bulletproof camera. Nade gets the kill onto Liquefact. Now down to a 2 versus 2. Pistol out, 20 HP for JB92. Solitov can't get the down, can't get the kill. And they do finally get a bit of space in this round to breathe, but I don't think Burrito can really get this kit down just yet. No, he goes for it. Decides to stick it in hope that Solitov has got the angles crossed and desired on the Guardian. Watch! To your left side, I thought there was a player pushing him behind. Burrito gets the kill despite getting the plant down. Nade loses his life, and JV92 with so much to do as the solo in the post plant here. BDS so close to getting series point, and they acquire it. What a strange old round once again.
Yeah, that was really rough for BDS in that round. They had the bees buzzing with the Hive launcher. They had the Candelas out from the Ying, but Brede was stranded outside on the repel with the diffuser for such a long period of time as the rest of his team battled for control. So many different isolated fights happening at the same time. Some really good reactivity from both teams.
I mean, there's that angle there. Brede does actually get the kill, and off of that, he's able to repel in. Even at that point there, he's still outside in the exterior on the repel.
Yeah.
So he came in so late into the piece. FURIA just couldn't quite manage, though, in the end. The late round execution, really nicely done for BDS. With that, though, they've now got map and series point and a chance to go to the grand final tomorrow. Now just one round away. FURIA need 4. Man, these rounds, though, have just not been clinical. They've not been clean, honestly, from either team. But credit to BDS, they've just been able to be better in these chaotic gunfights. Like, the scrappiness that is being, you know, essentially employed by both teams, BDS have just been better at it.
5 seconds to go.
FURIA can't control the pacing. They can't control the map. They're not getting opening kills. We saw that from Shaiko through square. He gets the opening kill, and it all just starts to unravel from that. FURIA just not in control. They haven't really been this entire series and don't look like the team that we've seen previously. BDS, on the other hand, though, well, they certainly are living up to the expectations that were upon them coming into this tournament. And another grand final appearance on the cards.
Yeah, 4 serious points for BDS, and it may well be a quick evening here for Rainbow Six at EWC off the back of the 2-0 victory earlier tonight. W7M booking their ticket into the grand final over Liquid. BDS thriving in the chaos at the moment. Back to basement to go, double roam, KZ, JV92. Both looking to immediately fall off once they sense pressure. Open area control gathered by Liquefac. So it is now just Elevator from JV92, but he falls off. And KZ in blue stairs, next to face Shaiko. Almost gets caught, it does!
Oh,
Shaiko
again,
commits
Shaiko.
himself to that battle, wins it out, and it's a 5-4 advantage now for BDS.
It's been the difference, though. BDS are wanting to get these fights. They're happy to take the contact and seek it out. We're not seeing that really from Furia. One player's kind of pushing back down blue stairs. The other's trying to push in and get the angle on that Shaiko, and he gets rewarded for it. 12 and 6 now. Again, double-digit kills for the second map in a row. Clear standout for MVP of this series in this semi-final. Advantage BDS. In this 9th round, Furia honestly have not really fired much of a punch in this matchup. And I do wonder, going into stage 2, where to for them? Now the logic bomb rings out around the map. Second and final one utilized by Solotov. Herds with the angle from CCTV up through the hatch. 60 seconds remaining. Down a player on the defense. Who's going to stand tall for Furia to try and get them back into this round?
Yeah, Shaiko still with 2 Roteros, now 1 to clear keeper barriers if required.
Oh my god, there's nothing going their way.
Yep.
What a swing from users. Top-rated player coming into today. And while Shaiko has been the MVP, BDS as a team have just about been the MVP of this tournament. They will go in as favorites in the grand final, you would have to imagine. Rotero through the hatch. Courtesy of Shaiko, that was his final one. 25 seconds, Philippox praying that he drops through, maybe gives him a free kill. Gasbabe, only 1 left available for Nade. But BDS have got the numbers, they can swarm site, they can go for kills. It's an outline bug with the blue-red combination. Bride, Commando crawl through the Gasbabe towards the bomb chassis. He's made it. 5 seconds, Nitrosol has to hit, and it does, he's down. Now you gotta hide. Do not allow them to get all of the kills for Nade and JV92. Just survive and they get the kills. Furia holding on by the skin of their teeth. This one's not done yet.
Big Nitro there from Furia, and the smoke canister wreaking havoc in towards the default position and making it a challenge to recover that diffuser in the dying seconds of the round. Furia going back to the basics there on that objective, and despite a few troubles over towards blue stairs and server, they made up for it.
That's probably the most basic round we've seen in this map of Bank, where it just comes down to a server-side push in towards CCTV, and it's denied by gas babes, by nitrosalts, and that's about it. The earlier portion of the round, sure, there's a couple of fights, but nevertheless, it really did kind of just come down to a rather default push for BDS, and I think that was maybe their short falling. You know, it's a 5-on-3 advantage, guys. You've got like 30 seconds left. You can swarm site. You can actually take the trade fights. Instead, they actually double down for a default push, a little, especially with the smoke still on the board. And a nitrosol.
Attackers have discovered the location.
Yeah, I mean, we did see them try and go for the rear hit and the red drop, and they were both really well denied by Furia. JV92 was playing a really deep position over towards Vault and was able to find success from that. So a good read from Furia, they're rewarded, but it's still a very tall mountain to climb. 3 more rounds stand between them and overtime.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
BDS electing to go over, oh, pardon me, Furia electing to go over to open area for his forthcoming round. Let's see what BDS elect to go for. No dedicated vert, so no sledge, no bug.
So they got the Ram, right? You would imagine Solotov will probably go over towards Stock, throw those Boogie Auto Breaches in there. You got the Montang who can eventually push in towards Staff. Zero is going to be interesting to see how that gets employed on Operator. We don't typically see all that often. 6-3, really 1 round at a time mentality now for Furia. Has to be employed. Can't be too worried about particular sites and where these round wins are going to come from. You've just got to do it buckle yourself in and get ready for the defensive right here on Bank. 3 rounds, certainly not impossible. Certainly doable. In fact, Breeder actually making his way towards Spiral, at least on this side. We'll get the live drone and might look to just try and bully someone in towards Elevator. That will be for Leapox. Does have a Nitrocell available. Holds his ground because he's got nade as well for cover towards front desk. So any kind of pinch, if Bride pushes up, goes towards Elevator, he could very well lose his life. That'll get called out. Nade will swing, probably get the kill, shot in the back. Although then it's kind of like Cheston uses also in position. In fact, Liquefact even better positioned. Nitrocell lands on the face of Bride.
Just chest bumps it away.
Yeah, that is actually quite a Chad move with the shield. They do lose nade, so that front desk position now has been exposed. Really nicely executed by BDS.
Well, BDS is just absorbing so much pressure, and you're right, he can't walk into the cross, but it means that there's then points of weakness elsewhere, and BDS doing a good job to exploit that on the open up. With nade in the grave, Furia on the back foot. It's a challenge now for them to bring this round back. Liquefact as well now in an advanced position in through towers. Bride drops to support that. And so it's quickly transitioned now to horizontal pressure for BDS onto this defense. It's a freebie for Liquefact. Good trade though.
Yeah, 1 for 1, but that's just going to favor. Oh, good hold from users. Talk about patience there from users to get that kill. KZ wins the battle though towards the hallway into top main. Low on health though. Gasbabe now out from JB92. KZ in a gunfight loses out suddenly now to 1v3 for JB92. Up against the Montang. Does get the initial kill onto the Solitov though, but that is an aggressive Bride. Bearing down on him with that shield. BDS bear down onto the grand final tomorrow. Up against W7M. They send Furia packing.
Team BDS far too good this evening. Closing it out in a 2-0 fashion. A match that I'm sure many, including myself, expected to go the distance. Certainly not the case. The Shaiko show throughout the night, but I think ultimately taking a step back and looking at the result in its entirety, Team BDS with a great team effort.
12 kills, 5 assists.